We're seeing a number of heroin or opiate cases both in our juvenile court as well as our family court, which is designed for the parents. So yes, it's a serious problem. I went out and hired our own drug counselor, and we started making kids come in on a regular basis, and then I started going through the Federal Register basically on grants and started reading about the drug court model and the idea that they were looking to grant monies to juvenile courts that would try this program, this model basically that had been used in the adult system in Florida and California, and it sounded like it made sense.
Even though it may seem as if the drug problem is something that occurs in somebody else's backyard, it really is something that affects the whole welfare of the community. It's not the court's intention to try to be lenient with drug offenders or any type of offenders, but it's tried to take a more educated and more overall a comprehensive type of approach towards the drug abuse problem.
We provide a lot of structure to drug addicts, where they meet with probation regularly, they meet with counselors regularly, they meet with myself, the judge, on a regular basis. And we all kind of form a relationship. We let them know that we support them and that we want to continue to support them through their problem. We work with them. We will not be used under any circumstance, but as long as they're using good faith and making good faith effort to tackle the problem that they have, then we will certainly work with them and support them any way that we can. The reality is that in the 2-year period that we have operated our drug court program, we have saved Fairfield County over $850,000.
Our boot camp program is a regimented 30-day program where it's daily reporting to probation, 1 12-step meeting per day, and random drug screens. And we use the boot camp program to sort of weed out those people that are using drug court to possibly just a free ticket out of jail versus people who truly want to be clean and sober. It's basically a 12 to 18 month long program working through the first through third phase. First phase, you're coming into drug court every Wednesday to report to the judge. You're reporting to probation 3 times a week, random drug screens, 3 12-step meetings per week, individual and group counseling at the recovery center, and we don't allow our individuals to work during that first phase because it's really treatment focused. Well, prior to every drug court status hearing on Wednesdays, our team, which consists of the judge, myself as the coordinator, Duffy Arter as our probation officer, and Larry McCoskey as our counselor, the 4 of us meet every Wednesday prior to status hearings to go over each and every case, to collaborate as to what that person is doing, bring the judge up to speed as to that person's compliance in drug court, if there are any violations of drug court, to recommend sanctions for that particular individual, and to also personalize each case if there are any successes in that person's life, how much sobriety that person may have in their life, or if that person has got a new job or entered school or received their GED. It's a time that we can bring the judge up to speed and let him know what that person is doing in their life. So that way, when we all go into the courtroom then at 2 o'clock on Wednesdays, it allows the judge to be up to speed and know what's going on with these individuals and to sanction the individuals that need sanction for violations, but also to, most importantly, celebrate the successes that we're having as well.
In my view, there is too many physicians that are willing to prescribe these types of medications. Opiates are highly addictive, and people are getting their drug addiction from the prescription process.
Here in Central Ohio and Fairfield County, the heroin epidemic is just overwhelming. We have a physician population that is overprescribing oxycodone, overprescribing pain medication. We have clients in our drug court program that have received Vicodin for sinus infections. And with that addiction to the pain medication has led to the heroin epidemic in our community.
I would say easily 25% of the people we see that have drug problems got on their drugs very naively and innocently because of a legitimate injury, and the doctor continued to give them medication that they didn't need well past the acute phase. And so we create the problem, and then we sustain it by not being confrontational with our patients, because it's unpleasant for them and it's unpleasant for us. And it's just a vicious cycle.
Prescription drugs have become or are quickly becoming the drugs of abuse of choice in our country. More people abuse prescription painkillers, sedatives, and stimulants than all other street drugs combined except marijuana, and those who are just starting now exceed marijuana. So the phenomenon is kind of staggering.
I played baseball in high school and I broke my ankle. So went to the hospital and saw a physical therapist after that, and got hooked on pain pills. And I kept doing that for about a year. Then it got too expensive. And I was introduced by 2 roommates to heroin, and went downhill from there.
I've had a number of clients from good families, good parents, well off, have everything available to them, good schooling, and they still get involved with substance abuse issues. So you have a kid who's prescribed pain medication one day, 2 years later he's holding up gas stations trying to get that next fix of heroin, and that affects everyone.